Hey folks, thank you so much for joining me here at KORE Women. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and what I do as a strategic empowerment coach for women. But first off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. My name is Dr. Summer Watson. I have a degree, an undergrad degree in English literature from the University of California, Berkeley. I have a master's in human services with a specialization in community counseling, which has allowed me to do community-based counseling and consultation and collaboration. It has allowed me to do individual and group counseling. It has allowed me to create programs and help with organizational development. I also have a degree, a doctoral degree in clinical psychology. So I have a PhD. Let's see, what else? I've also written a book, which is called The Effects of the War in Iraq on Military Marriages. So that is an interesting book. It's a lot of qualitative phenomenological research. So essentially, that is talking about somebody's lived experience, objective lived experience. And so with all that said, that talks about a little bit about my educational background, but I want to get into the more practical perspective of what I do and what I've done during my life. So I started working at 15. So a lot of times, you know, I was around my peers and they didn't have to work that early, but I started working early and I'm pretty proud of that because as I worked, I realized that I'm resilient. You know, I could always find a job that I, took pride in the work that I did, and I started working young. So I started, really gathering some of those practical experiences at a young age and being able to overcome challenges at a young age as well. So, which also allowed me to get into a pretty tough school, as an undergrad. So I was able to do that, and I was pretty proud of those accomplishments. And over the years, one thing that I do need to tell you is I am also a spouse of somebody who was in the military for 20 plus years. And I talk to you about this because that experience, I've had to move from place to place to place. And as we do that as military spouses, it's pretty tough because you have to either reinvent yourself, start a new business, get a new job. And many times military spouses will start businesses because they're businesses that they usually can move around with. So they do something that really aligns with their lifestyle. And that's kind of what I did as well. But also, while we were moving, as I got my doctorate, I was also working in hospitals in very clinical settings as a director, as a manager, running assessment units, working and collaborating with nurses and doctors, other nurses and doctors. So yeah, I've done a lot of different things in regards to business, for-profit, nonprofit, clinical. And although coaching isn't, we're not coming from this from a counseling perspective, all of that experience and application based on education has really helped in regards to my approach to strategic empowerment coaching for women. So with all that said, I'm going to go over a little bit about what I do as a strategic empowerment coach for women, or what I have to offer. So, as a strategic empowerment coach for women, I do individual coaching, group coaching, organizational and program development coaching, qualitative research coaching, primarily in a phenomenological approach. Again, that's the lived experience, being able to document the lived experience of a human being. Success coaching, small business coaching, and life coaching. So with all that said, and I forgot to tell you one thing. I also run a nonprofit for veterans and their families. It's called Warrior Research Foundation. I run this with my business partner, who runs an awesome wellness business that we started together, and now she's just doing gangbusters, running that. And I also So I wanted to tell you about those other things that I've done so that you have an understanding about what business I may have started, what kind of practical application I have approached by using to develop things in my life in the way that I wanted to structure my life, such as, creating businesses, working in the field that I wanted to work in, even while I moved, recreating my life each time we had to get up and move. So I tell you all that and tell you this and what I offer for coaching, because so that you can get a little bit more information about who I am and how I would work with a client. And through all of that, I want to inspire. I want to inspire you as women. I want to encourage you. I want you to be able to identify areas in your life that you can restructure, that you feel like you want to restructure. I want you to be able to design a plan of action so that it's great to have a plan, but also how do you drive those objectives to reach those goals so you can actually, reach your mission, so you can live the mission of, something you want to change in your life, something you want to change about your business, a business that you want to start. So how do you do all those things? And you may be wondering, where do I start? So, how do you make decisions to improve the quality of your life? How do you maintain professional and personal balance in your life? And then how do you create the life that you want to live? Not just live a life, but create the life you want to live. So with all that said, it's my job to be able to inspire, encourage, and also keep you accountable for the goals that you want to reach. Are we maintaining the timeline? Do the objectives align with the goals that you have set? So with all that said, all this information is really important, because let's say you want to hire me. I want to be able to tell you exactly what methodology that I use that would help support your goal achievement. And if you go out and look for a coach, some of the tips I have is ask them about their methodology. Ask them about how, they're going to keep you accountable. And then also fill them out and see if that person aligns with your own personal philosophies about what you're looking for in a coach. So with all that said, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to reach out to me and contact me with any questions that you might have. So you can reach me by going through direct messaging me through Instagram. You can message me through Facebook. There is a KORE Women Facebook page. There is also a KORE Women Twitter page. As a matter of fact, I also have a podcast, the KORE Women Podcast, which you can find on Apple, iTunes. You can find it on Google Play Music, and you can also find it on Podbean. So reach out to me. Ask me the questions that you want to know. See if I align with your philosophies in what you're looking for in a coach. Okay. With all that said, I look forward to talking to you, and thank you so much for sticking around and hearing what I had to say today. I really appreciate you, and have a fabulous day.